Good evening. It's the night of August 23rd, 2020. And I was just sitting here thinking about all of the things I need to get at Home Depot tomorrow for tomorrow's job. Not a lot of stuff, but we're going to be moving an outside hose bib. Apparently the lady's having a fencing company come in and install a fence, and the hose bib is going to be in an area too close to the fence, and they don't want it there anymore. It's got a PEX manifold in the house, which looks like this up here in the corner. And we're going to take out the old one and put the new one in using PEX. The other thing that we're going to do is her walk-in shower. It was built by a builder. She had the builder come back and repair it, and again, it's falling apart. So the problem is under the curb and the seating area. There's like a bench in there. This particular builder, when I was there last time, I installed 3 ceiling fans about 2 years ago. And when I turned on the third, I'm sorry, did I say 3 ceiling fans? I installed 3 ceiling fans. When I installed the third one, when I turned it on, the kitchen power, the living room power, all the lighting on the ceiling, the basement, and the entry all went out. And the customer looked at me and said, "Oh my God, what did you do?" So I told her, I said, "I didn't do anything." I said, "Something's not right here." I said, "I'll figure it out." So I went downstairs, looked at the breaker box, ended up taking the panel off, and I found out that the entire house was all on 15 amp circuits. And the circuit that controlled that ceiling fan also controlled the 4 other rooms. So that's what the problem was. And I had words with the builder, not negative words, but I explained to him how it wasn't proper and how he did it wrong, or how his electrician did it wrong, and then showed him that the basement switch for the 3-way switch for the basement lights was hidden behind the wall, that they never even cut out around it. So I had to cut out the wall to reveal the switch. Anyway, that's the story of that. That's where we're going back today. And we're going right now. Alright, so here we are. And this bench here keeps cracking right along the top there. So we're taking off this whole bench and redoing it. And also down here on the curb, you can see it, those are pushing out a little bit there as well. Then I'm going to have to take that off. This house is only 3 years old, and this is builder grade stuff for you. It's been repaired once by the builder. See how easy this is coming apart and coming out in long strands like this? That's because they didn't use sanded grout. When you have a space that's 1/8 of an inch, real thin, you can use unsanded grout. But when you have something that's at least, you know, 1/4 of an inch wide, you really have to, or anything over 1/8 of an inch, even 3/16, you have to use sanded grout. This here, at least the second time around, I don't know about up here, but when they repaired this the first time, this is all unsanded grout. There's no sand in it. And that's part of the problem. at that mold. Drywall. And drywall's okay, but not if you don't seal it. Boy, isn't that nice? Nice and moldy. It's been getting wet a while. Stopped using the shower 1 month into owning the house, she said. There is no waterproofing at all. They did that to create the lip so that everything would be on a downward angle for water to run. They put an extra piece on so it would go lower. Screws are rusted right off. That's how much water's been getting through. I don't even think these screws here, they probably have to be grounded off, pulled out. Look at that. Look at that. Wow, they didn't even use screws, they used nails. They used nails to hold that on. That's a screw. And that's a nail, I guess. It was a screw. It was something at one point. Problem is, every one of these fasteners goes through this piece of rubber, which is there to protect. So it creates a hole. So this rubber piece needs to be sealed now because it's compromised with all those tiny pinholes. And we can just fill those pinholes with silicone, or we can red guard the whole thing. I'm probably just going to use silicone in these holes because to spend $50 to red guard this makes really no sense whatsoever. Being that it's not like a whole shower or anything, it's a small little area. And most of these fasteners come out super easy, because most of them are nails, or like I said, rotted screws. The last bit of it cleaned up. So now we have that bench all taken apart. I do need to take care of this here. I have to chisel some of that off. And I gotta take out these two tiles here. That's one tile. I have to get that one tile there. And this one here, I'm gonna try to take out as well. Looks like all of these are leaning except for this one here. So if I could take them out of there. If I can't reuse them, I'll try to clean them off and reuse them. If I can't, then what I'm going to do is take them all out and use the white tile that she got for here down there as well. You see, it's just on drywall. There it goes. There she goes. See? Underlayment. So I cut this 16¼ by, I think it was 42 and something. This side here is deep, so we can put that side in there. Put this down in place and slide it over into there. And she fits like a glove. Right to the top. Even Steven. This is the switch that they thought was upside down. Remember I told you that story? And this is the one that was buried in the wall. And you can see it's taped up because I cut it out of there. Yeah. So right here, this is called the PEX manifold. This controls everything. Okay, so hot and cold. Red is hot, blue is cold, white is usually outside stuff. See hose bib? Yeah. Hose bib rear, hose bib side. So what we're looking for... Master bath shower.
where you see that? Right here, right?
Yep.
So there's a key up here, shaped like a diamond. Has a diamond in it. So master bath shower, you see how it's pointing towards the line? All we do is put that key on there till it fits and turn it up. Now it's pointing away from the line. Okay, master bath shower cold. Put that on there like that. Turn it perpendicular. Okay, master bath toilet, kitchen. Is there a spare room? Say bath number 2, lay 1, bath number 2. We'll see if that's the right one, and if it's not, we'll come turn it back on and choose a different one. But that's how you do it. There's usually a key hanging somewhere. A lot of people tuck it into things like this. They hide it behind where the lines are, but there's always a key. If not, you can always do it with a pair of pliers. Look, no water. Now I don't have to worry about bumping into that thing again, because that bag's filling up.
But I want to show you that this only goes back that far there. Same thing here. It's about 3/8 of an inch on this side. So I'm going to slide this in here, and I'm going to do it in 2 locations. And I'm going to make a mark at 24 inches. And I'm going to do it back here too, and make a mark at 24 inches. And then I'm going to turn this around and measure it the other direction. From inside of here, as far as it'll go, to my 24-inch mark is right there. So 24 plus 20 and 5/8 would be 44 and 5/8. Now I'm going to see if it's the same in the front. 24, 44 and 3/4. So 44 and 5/8 is smaller. That's the size we're going to go with. The cut end, you're always going to put either down or against the wall so you see a nice finished side when you look at it. Slide that in there. And it's down. And I am going to pull this forward so that it meets the front of this one. Back here, the tile's going to come up against this. It's going to be siliconed. I want that to be flush. Now, if I'm going to be using the things that she bought, these edges, which I don't know if I'm going to be, they can't go under something else because they look kind of weird when something's sitting on top of them. It leaves kind of a weird look to it. So these should really be flush up here. If I use this and this tile here, it'll kind of look like that. You have to have that grout line there, which doesn't necessarily look bad. It'll be filled. The other thing I can do is I can move it back just a hair and leave the same size grout line in there. But I don't really think this is a very viable way of doing it. I think what I prefer to do is have a piece of tile come up to here and put that metal schluter across, and then have this end in that metal schluter so the metal wraps around this. So I was concerned that when they built this, that they didn't build it with the back end of this bench higher by 1/4 of an inch than the front end, because when I tore it apart there was a piece of drywall on here that was only about 6 inches wide in the back, and then we had another piece of drywall over it, creating even more of an angle. It only has to be 1/4 of an inch per foot. This is 12 and something. So if I take a piece of drywall that's going to go there, you can see that the back end is higher, and it doesn't have to be much higher. It just has to be higher so water flows this way. And that's true everywhere. It's higher. Maybe they wanted it more of a pitch, but because it's not quite 1/4 of an inch, it's
supposed to be a 1/4 of an inch, and it's really only an 1/8 of an inch. They're plastic shims, and what's nice about them is they all have the same width at the back. So if I sit these in here, and I don't know, we might need more than this, because whoever built this only built the back end an 1/8 of an inch higher than the front end, and that's clearly not enough. We're probably going to have to, for stability, so people can actually sit on this without the tiles breaking, use at least this many here, which is pretty much all I got. I got one left. And then if we sit this in here, like that, and we check it, it's now pinning all the way over to the right, meaning this end is higher. And when we lift this to make it even, it's a 1/4 of an inch, just about. So that's what we're gonna have to do. We're gonna have to put the shims under it, and that's what's gonna hold it. And that's what's gonna keep this at the proper angle. The problem is they use drywall, and moisture got through the grout, ruined the drywall, and it all started deteriorating, and it lost its pitch, and then water started running in this way and running behind these tiles back here, and it all started falling apart. We also got a piece down in here. It's not screwed in yet, but it's down in there, and we're gonna cut the tile, put the tile on there, and we'll get that all grouted on our next visit, I guess, because we're not gonna have time to do it today because the tile will not dry up in time for us to grout it, I don't think. Maybe. We have another job to do here. If we get that one done, we can revisit this as long as there's time. But that's the way that's gonna go in there, just like that, and get the proper angle. The measurements from this tile to where the studs were from the left-hand side. The first one was 12 inches. So if we come out here and make a mark at 12 inches, that's right where the stud is, behind there. The other one was 28 1/4. So we come out here, 28 1/4 inches. Screwdriver. We're good? Alright, so now we're going to pull this out until it's even right there. And we're going to put one in. Alright, now we get these in here. Just like that. Alright, so we're going to sit the first one in there, we're going to make a line. Then we're going to put the second one in, but we're going to create our grout line. If you look over here, the camera person shows over here, that we'll leave that gap there. Can you see that gap right there? That's going to be our grout line, that gap. Grout line. And then we'll draw the line where the tiles go. Now we got the next grout line. Okay, this line here is no good. This is an old line. We got to ignore that one. So that's where the next tile goes. So when we go to put this tile in, we have to give room for the grout line. So you've got the tile here, the grout line's there. So this is the one we're going to cut on, this dark line right there. And that will be our third tile. Add some water to the mortar. like peanut butter. And then you gotta let it sit 20 minutes.
Meanwhile,
So I brought with me a big wet saw that you set up on sawhorses, and you can push the tile through and cut it. But this tile is going to be right up against the wall and then covered with caulk. So you don't need a wet saw for that. All you need is a good masonry blade. One down.
"20 minutes later."
And so you use the side that has no teeth to scoop it out and get it on the wall. And you're going to use the side that has these grooves in it. For this is a larger format tile. What that does is it makes sure that you have the proper amount behind it. Sit your tile in here where you want it. And you're gonna sit your other one in there. You know what? Let me have a rag. And then you take your cut end and always put that into the corner. And you want to make sure your grout line's right. You can use grout spacers in there, but I don't think it's going to be necessary with just 6 tiles on here. From the other side of this down, plus my grout line. This first tile is going to be 6 3/16. So in this particular case, it's easier to back butter it than it is to get it on here. So I'm just going to back butter the whole tile. Use this end. This on here, just like so. You got shims?
I do.
Like that. And let your tiles tell you where it's going. So put your tiles in and push it right up to the schluter and right up to the wall.
Next tile. Put that in here. And right up to the Schluter. Okay, next tile. And into the Schluter. See how to pull these forward. Make sure that they're flush with the Schluter. The back doesn't matter as much. Okay, next tile. She's level.